This video covers the preparation of a Gcms sample. Just as before, let's gather our materials to properly prepare the sample. You're going to need a small test tube, your organic material of course, a Gcms vial and cap, your microspatula, a clean transfer pipette, some methylene chloride in this case is the solvent we'll be using, and of course Kim wipes are always handy to have around. Now let's prepare our solution and load it into the Gcms vial for analysis. We'll begin by taking our small test tube, microspatula, and our sample. And we'll want to transfer just a few milligrams of sample into that small test tube. So we'll be using just what fits barely on the tip of the microspatula, far less than we used in our NMR sample preparation. We'll place this amount of our solid material into the test tube and then dissolve it in approximately 1 pipette volume of methylene chloride solvent. The methylene chloride solvent will probably be dried over molecular sieves to be sure we don't get water into the sample as well, which can adversely affect the experiment. So here I'm placing 1 pipette volume of methylene chloride into the sample and aspirating it slightly to be sure that it's thoroughly dissolved. At this point, I'm ready to transfer my solution into the Gcms vial so it can be loaded onto the instrument and analyzed. I'll take my Gcms vial and transfer the entire aliquot of solution into that vial. At this point, it's important to inspect the vial and be sure that the level of the solution is at about the 1.0 milliliter mark or higher to be sure that the needle from the autosampler will get inside and actually draw liquid. Finally, I apply the blue-colored snap cap to the vial, and I'm ready to label my sample. Just as with our NMR samples, we'll be having TAs run the Gcms samples for us. This means that we need to label the vial so the TAs can identify whose sample belongs to whom. So I'll use my net ID and a fine point Sharpie to label the vial. Once my net ID is on the vial, I've completed preparing my Gcms sample. It's now ready to go in with all of the other samples from my section and be analyzed.